Okay, so this is my fuel pump. And this is me realizing I messed up.
Okay, guys. I'm funny. Let's put it this way. So I made a goof. Well, come to find out,
We interrupt this program to bring you a news flash. Breaking news, Zitro Racing is a complete moron.
Hi, hello. I know, this is probably really confusing, but in order for this to make sense, I think we need to take it back just a little bit. Okay, it's a little too far. Let's go back forward and take it from here. Yeah, right here. That'll be good. Okay, bye. See ya. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage, and hello to all my new subscribers. As you know from the last time this car went to the dyno, if you don't know, we'll leave a link in one of these descriptions here, or go back to my videos and watch the dyno video. The car had injectors that were too small. I had a set of 550 injectors in there. It's my fault. Kind of thought it'd work. It's what I had laying around, and I just was trying to save money when it wanted to bite me. It is what it is. So what I did is I contacted Dog Racing, reached out to them, and purchased a set of Deshwork injectors and pumps. So I went with 1,000cc injectors. With 1,000cc, someone's light's falling apart. Give me a second. So I went with 1,000cc injectors and a 330 fuel pump from Deshworks. I already have like a 240 pump in here now. This pump is going to be going into that pump is going to wind up going into the wife's car, and maybe the injectors I have might be going in there, not quite sure. This car almost has 200,000 miles, and it wouldn't hurt to get some new stuff. But in today's video, I know a lot of you guys were asking about the fuel pump install. I know there's plenty of videos out there, but what we're going to be doing is installing the aftermarket fuel pump into this car, and I'll do a little tutorial on that, and then we'll be putting injectors in, and we'll be doing a fuel filter, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know when the last time this fuel filter's been changed. I went and looked underneath it, and it's actually kind of sad. I'm a little bit embarrassed by it, but you know, sometimes when you're working on a bunch of cars and you just look up and you're like, I don't feel like replacing the fuel filter, and you probably should have. So we'll be replacing that, doing injectors, and then we'll be trying to get this thing on the road. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can see when we upload more videos like this. If you're not, welcome back, and I appreciate you guys for checking in. Let's get this started. Let's look at that fuel filter so you can make fun of me about how bad it is and get that swapped out, and hopefully it's not too bad, because it's atrocious. So we'll see. I'm telling you guys, when you see this, you're gonna be like, how can you work on cars and completely ignore something like this? Don't judge. Don't judge me. One of my favorite things ever that I got off Amazon is this rack there. How cool would it have been if I just kicked it and immediately got underneath there? All right, guys, so don't judge me, but oh boy, there's the fuel filter. Yeah, it's gross, so shame on me. I should not have let it go that long. Who knows how old that is and how much crap's gonna fall out of there. See if I can get a good shot on the fuel filter. Just in case no one's ever removed one before. They're pretty simple if it's not rusted together like this one is. So we'll see how this goes as I make a complete and utter mess of everything. I'm going to start by removing the lines. These are like the best pliers I ever bought from Snap-on. They're pretty incredible. So this tool here I'm using, you can get them at Harbor Freight. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty much like a rubber line removal tool. It's meant to get in behind the line where you can break it loose without destroying the fitting. All right, so now we'll take a 10mm socket and we'll bust this loose, hopefully without breaking it. Okay, sweet. Okay, so now we got the new one. As you can see, we will put this in, verify that it's set up the same and it looks the same. I'll show you here in a second. If you look at the old fuel filter and the new fuel filter, there's a kind of a groove that it fits in. It'll kind of let you know if it's lined up, and that way you don't crush the filter. All right, there we go. All right, so there's the new filter installed. That's pretty much it for a fuel filter change, nothing crazy. Deshworks does make a really cool screw-on filter kit. You'd have to convert the lines to AN, but eventually maybe I'll be thinking of doing something like that. That way I can just have filters. I don't have to take it apart. I can just literally take a little thing off, put a filter in and screw it back on, and it'd probably make life a little easier. For now, that's what we're gonna do. Now I know that it's gonna have clean fuel going in, and we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so as you see, the fuel filters, pretty simple thing to do. Hey, what are you eating? Do you ever have a dog that just likes to eat random stuff? Stop. So what I think I'm gonna do next here is I'm gonna move my car out of the way, pull the Miata out of the garage. Kind of smells like fuel in here, and I really don't want the inside of the house to be smelling like fuel. So we're gonna pull this back. Hopefully it doesn't rain or anything. And then we're gonna get to doing the fuel pump. So I got a couple things from Deshworks here, as you can see. I got the pump wiring harness adapter. I think this is the wiring harness adapter, and 1000cc injectors. So we'll put this to the side here, and we will go ahead and open this up here. Take a look at it. This is the pump, nothing crazy. Wiring and all that for the Miata. And there is your 340 LPH pump. So pretty simple. We're gonna get into the back of the car, and I'm gonna show you what the process is to put the fuel pump in. But first I'm gonna show you what an OEM Miata would look like and what you'd have to remove before you get to the actual fuel pump plates and stuff like that, because I don't have anything in the back, and obviously OEM stuff has a bunch of covers. Okay, so in a OEM Miata, what you'd wind up having to do is, if you have one of these, take it off. There's a bunch of little clips here, all around. You would take that off. There's going to be a insulating pad. You take that off, and then you'd be able to access the fuel lid, which is what I'll show you in my car. So yours will look more like this. Unfortunately, you can't do it with the top down because it blocks all that. So you have to do it in an open space with the doors open so you don't suffocate. And I'd prefer if you had an empty tank, but like me, I don't have an empty tank. So do that first, and then you'll be able to access all your fuel pump stuff, which will be right about here. Okay, so once, oh, this is gonna be a nightmare. Yikes. So once you get that out of the way, you'll have your access lid there. You're gonna take this access lid off, and that'll get you to your fuel pump. So let's do that. Also, real quick before we get back to this kit right here, this is a standalone power source for your fuel pump. Basically what this does is provide maximum voltage or consistent voltage to your fuel pump. Really recommend something like this if your car's old or making over 400 horsepower, or on a car that's never made horsepower before, like Miatas. Basically, you would hardwire this in. You'll hook this directly up to a battery and ground the chassis or whatever. This is your relay. You'll have your power to your pump, and then you have your signal, which would be the power that activates the pump in the car. And as soon as you key on, this will make sure that it has proper 12-volt source to the fuel pump. You don't have to worry about any of that, but we'll get that installed after we put the new pump in and take it out. So this is from the back window. That is the fuel pump. So what you'll do is, you see that white plug, we'll unplug that. We'll take the lines going into the car off, and we'll take all those Phillips screws out, and we'll pull the whole pump unit or fuel sender unit assembly out of the car. It's gonna be a tight fit in there, so I don't know if I'll be able to put you guys in here to see something, but you'll get the gist of it. Just carefully remove all that. There's a gasket on it. Be careful with it. It might be stuck. Take your time, but we'll undo those, and then we'll pull the whole assembly out of the car. Okay, guys. This is, I'm funny. Let's put it this way. So I made a goof. I bought my fuel pump in the Miata 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't know. It's still functional. When I pulled out the pump, I realized it said DW300 on it. and I thought that was very interesting. Well, come to find out, I ordered the same pump. I had a 300 in already, and yeah, you know, it is what it is. Now I have an extra, you never know, but I'll show you the process of what it would have been, maybe, or try to go over it, what it would have been if you were to put a new pump in. So here is the pump assembly that comes from the Miata. As you can see here, DW300. My old box here, I don't know why. I got it directly from DW, so it had no markings on it. But when I found it, opened it up, compared the part numbers, turns out they were identical to this one. So unfortunately, I opened the box, so I can't ship it back. That's what I get. But at this point, normally, they provide you with all this stuff. They provide you with a plug, as you can see that I wired in here. I actually soldered it, sleeved it, and then re-sleeved it again as a total. So what I'm going to wind up doing is I think I'm just going to put it back in. Filter's not bad. I'm going to put that back in, and that saves a whole step. But what you basically do is you'd replace your old housing with this new one. It's a pretty straightforward process. Solder in your new connector to this, and then clock this the right way and go ahead and put this back in. So I guess I saved myself that trouble, and the only thing I need to do is install the fuel pump wiring. You know, one of those days where you go to work on your car and not that nothing is going wrong, it's just not going 100% the way you want. So here's the deal with the 12-volt source for the fuel pump. I'll climb in here and I'll try to explain to you why I'm not comfortable doing I'm just gonna have to order some parts. Let's climb in here and I'll show you. Alrighty, so as you can see here, I kind of disassembled the OEM 4-way pin. Here's why I want to pin the fuel pump wiring directly into the plug. Because, as you can see, this is 12 gauge wiring. This is 18 gauge wiring. You never want to go from a larger gauge wire to a smaller gauge wire, because what you essentially might wind up doing is creating a fusible link and a hot spot for it to melt. I know they're both 12 volts, but when you start changing wire sizes or gauges, amperage is something you need to consider. So generally you'll have more amperage out of a bigger wire than a smaller wire. So if you start putting a big wire to a small wire, you run the risk of melting this wire and creating a fire hazard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to order this plug with the pins that you can pre-plug in yourself, and I will rewire this directly into this plug and not have to worry about any step-down sources. But for now, we'll just pin this back together, put this back in, button it all up, and get the fuel injectors in. Okay, so the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna put the fuel injectors in. I already have a video of injector installs. It's actually the supercharger install. So I'll leave a link somewhere over here in one of these corners, a little clip. If you want to click that and then just kind of skip over, have it all categorized so you can skip over to the fuel injector install. You can watch that. It's pretty straightforward. We'll get the injectors in there and then we'll hook the laptop up, tell the ECU that we have 1000cc injectors, and we'll go for a spin and see what happens. Okay, so I got the injectors in. We're gonna go in the Haltech here and input that they are now 1000 cc's. Fuel system, injectors, flow rate, there we go. Flow rate, and we will change these to 1000, enter, and let's start it up. Alrighty, look at that. So now that's done. Alright, we don't got any leakage, it looks like. I kind of went ahead and tested that before. I actually have a fuel pressure switch here so I can pressurize the rail, check if anything's leaking. But that only pressurizes the top side of the rail. I need to check the back side to see if it's leaking. And I don't see anything, which is good. Alright, so let's take it for a spin, I guess. unfortunately, I think that's going to conclude this video. Not how I was expecting this to go. Things happen, and it's a little frustrating. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That'll let you guys know when I post. And we'll probably be doing other series other than this build. We have Dez's car, the Fit, and her Miata that we work on occasionally, and I'll probably be dropping some of those videos in between. So we'll have a couple videos of hers pop up. Really, it's for the purpose of I want her to learn as well, and maybe you can get your significant other interested in working on stuff, show them the video. Maybe they'll want to go out and help and just enjoy themselves. So thank you to all the new subscribers. I truly appreciate it. I'm not expecting this at all. Honestly kind of blown away. So you guys are amazing. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can grow this channel together and do something pretty cool and epic with it. So I'll leave a link in the description for all the products I use. For Iv'e Racing, use code Zitro on checkout for a 10% discount. Track Dog Racing, same thing as well. And Spike Performance, click the links below and you'll have everything you need to know about everything I have on my car. And if you are interested in more, just leave a comment below, guys. Anyways, once I get this thing running, once it's fully going, I will see you guys at the track. Deuces, and you guys are incredible. Bye.